Hello, friends. Welcome back to English Practice and Mindset, the podcast that helps you improve your listening, speaking, and confidence in English. I'm Chloe, and today we're going to talk about something very special, the hidden mind trick behind English fluency. Have you ever noticed that you can understand English perfectly, follow conversations, watch series, and even read books, but when it's your turn to speak, your mind just freezes? You're not alone. Today, I'm going to reveal the hidden mind trick that helps you speak English naturally, and we're going to practice it together step by step. In this video, we'll focus on words and expressions like listen, repeat, shadowing, pronunciation, rhythm, thinking in English, and confidence. These are the keys to turning your understanding into real fluency. By the end of this video, you'll know how to transform your passive English skills into active speaking skills, train your brain to think in English without translating, and apply a simple mental trick that connects what you understand to what you can speak immediately. If you want to really improve your English listening and speaking, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss any of our practical exercises and powerful mind techniques. Now, let's start. I will speak clearly and slowly so you can follow every word. The first step is awareness. Your brain already understands English, but the problem is that your mind doesn't automatically connect listening to speaking. Most learners focus on memorizing words or grammar rules, but real fluency comes when you train your brain to repeat and speak while listening. This method is called shadowing, and it's one of the fastest ways to unlock your English fluency. Here's a simple exercise to start. Listen to a short sentence, repeat it exactly as you hear it, paying attention to the rhythm, intonation, and stress. Don't worry about translating. Just focus on copying the sounds naturally. This trains your brain to produce English automatically and builds the confidence to speak without hesitation. When you think about fluency, most people imagine speaking fast, using complex vocabulary, or sounding like a native speaker. But that's not the real secret. The real secret is how your mind reacts when you hear English. Most learners don't realize that fluency starts with listening, not speaking. If your brain can't understand English easily, your mouth can't produce it naturally. Think about it. When you learned your first language, you didn't start by speaking. You listened. You listened for months, maybe even years before you said your first words. That's how your brain built the structure of your language. The same thing happens with English. If you train your mind to listen deeply and calmly, fluency will come to you almost automatically. But here's the trick that most people don't know. Your brain doesn't just listen to words. It listens to patterns, rhythms, and connections. The brain loves repetition and emotion. That's why when you hear a song many times, you suddenly know the lyrics, not because you studied them, but because your brain absorbed them naturally. So, what if you could make English learning work like that? What if you could trick your brain into learning English automatically, just like it learned your native language? That's what this video is about, the hidden mind trick behind English fluency. Let me explain the psychology behind it. Your brain has two main modes of learning, the conscious and the subconscious. When you study grammar or vocabulary lists, you're using the conscious mind. It's slow, logical, and analytical. But the subconscious mind is fast and emotional. It learns by repetition and context. And here's the truth. Real fluency lives in your subconscious mind. That's why shadowing, repetition, and listening to real stories in English are so powerful. They speak directly to your subconscious. You don't have to remember, your brain does it for you. But the trick is not just to listen, it's to listen the right way. Most learners make one big mistake. They listen while translating. They try to connect every word in English to their native language. That process creates a delay, a small pause between hearing and understanding. That tiny delay is the reason many people never feel fluent. Your brain is busy translating instead of reacting. So, how do you stop translating and start thinking in English? The trick is to shift your focus from meaning to feeling. When you listen, don't focus on every single word. Focus on the emotion, the tone, the flow of the sentence. Notice how ideas connect instead of how words translate. Let's do a small experiment right now. Imagine you're listening to a native speaker say, "It's a beautiful day, isn't it?" Don't think about the translation. Just feel it. Hear the emotion. Hear the rising tone at the end, isn't it? That's not grammar, that's rhythm. When your brain starts catching rhythm instead of rules, you start thinking like a native speaker. And this is where the hidden mind trick works, through immersion and emotional repetition. Your brain loves meaning that feels alive. So, when you hear English connected to emotion, story, or rhythm, you learn without effort. That's why watching emotional stories, listening to podcasts, or shadowing motivational speeches works so well. They activate both your logic and emotion, making your memory much stronger. Before we continue, tell me in the comments, do you usually translate when listening to English, or do you try to understand it directly? Write it below. I read every comment, and your answer helps shape the next videos. Now, let's go even deeper into how this hidden trick changes your brain. When you train your listening the right way, your brain starts to create new connections, neural pathways that make English sound familiar. At first, it feels difficult because your brain is creating those new pathways from zero. But as you keep listening, calmly, repeatedly, and emotionally, those pathways get stronger. Suddenly, English stops sounding foreign. It starts sounding normal. That's why some learners suddenly reach a breakthrough moment. One day, English that used to sound like noise begins to sound clear. That's not magic, that's your brain finally adapting. And that's the goal of this video and this channel, to help you train your brain for that moment, to help you practice listening in a way that reprograms your mind for fluency. You don't need to be perfect, you just need consistency and the right mindset. Every time you listen, every time you repeat, your brain is learning in the background, even when you don't notice it. So if you keep watching until the end of this video, I'll share a simple exercise that uses this mind trick to make English flow more naturally from your brain. When you start using this mind trick every day, something powerful begins to happen. English stops feeling like a subject you study and starts becoming a part of who you are. You begin to think in English, react in English, even dream in English sometimes. That's when you know your brain has switched from learning mode to fluency mode. Here's how to apply it daily. Choose one short English audio every day, maybe 2 or 3 minutes long. It can be a motivational talk, a podcast episode like this one, or even a short movie dialogue. Listen to it while you're relaxed, walking, cooking, or having coffee. Then repeat out loud exactly what you hear. Don't worry about mistakes. Your goal is to mirror the rhythm and energy of the speaker. After a few days, your brain begins to anticipate the next word or phrase before it's spoken. That means your neural connections are forming in real time. This is what shadowing does. It builds an instant connection between comprehension and speech. Let's go deeper into the psychology behind it. The human brain learns best through imitation. It's how children learn their first language, not by studying grammar, but by copying sounds and emotions. When you shadow English speakers, you're doing the same. You're programming your subconscious to recognize and produce language effortlessly. And that's why this method feels so natural, because it is. It works with your brain, not against it. Here's another important truth. Your brain doesn't respond to pressure. If you constantly say, "I must speak perfectly," your mind blocks creativity and flow. But if you say, "I'm just training my brain today," the pressure disappears. You relax. And when you relax, your fluency grows. So change your mindset. Don't focus on learning English. Focus on becoming English in your thoughts. Every time you listen actively, every time you shadow, you're rewiring your mind to think like a fluent speaker. Now imagine this. You wake up in the morning, play an English podcast, and let it run while you get ready. You repeat a few sentences, not as a student, but as someone already fluent, just training their voice. You do this every day for 1 month. What happens? Your pronunciation improves. Your listening gets sharper. Your fear of speaking disappears. That's not a dream. That's the hidden mind trick in action. It's the shift from effort to flow. Before we finish, I want you to remember one phrase. Fluency is a state of mind, not a level. You don't reach it, you enter it. When you stop forcing English and start living it, fluency comes naturally. So, from today, stop doubting yourself. Your brain is already capable of fluency. You just have to activate it through consistent listening, shadowing, and belief. If this video helped you understand English fluency in a new way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs motivation today. And write in the comments, "I'm unlocking my English fluency." That's your affirmation for today, a promise to yourself that your English journey has no limits. Keep listening, keep repeating, and keep believing in your progress. This is English Practice and Mindset, and I'll see you in the next episode.